Chapter 6, Part 3. "The geese are making a lot of noise," said Sebastian, trying to avoid an angry-looking one hissing by his feet. "Careful, guys," said Sarah. "Another prickly shrub blocking the path." A cowpat on the ground steamed. "Careful," she said, but it was too late. Spike had put his foot in it. "Ah, you smell," said Sebastian, pushing Spike away from him. "Walk over there." The ground here was like a bog, the soil black and oily and soft enough to lose a shoe in. "Walk around it, not through it, stupid," said Brian, spotting that it was Sebastian's turn to dirty his shoes. From this part of the lake, the whole campus was hidden amongst the trees on the far left. Even the mansion house with its tall chimneys was excluded from view. "Careful, guys," said Poppy, now leading the group. A large branch was lying across the path, twisted like canteen spaghetti, with its smaller branches sticking out like roots and twisting around the main branch. "Do you think this was caused by a lightning strike, Poppy?" "No, Kip. It's just storm damage." "Well, it's too big to climb over," said Brian. "We'll have to leave the path and go around it." "Through all the mud?" said Sebastian. "Yes, unless you have a better idea," Brian scorned. "Didn't think so. Your shoes are ruined anyway, kid. Come on." As the gang trekked onwards, all of their shoes made squelching sounds as the mud oozed up to dirty their socks, then onto the grass again, wiping the mud off their shoes with bundles of ripped-up grass and sticks. Once around the branch, the path ahead became firm again and crunched as they tread upon the acorns, twigs and leaves that covered the path, creating a carpet of golden brown. "You can see the mansion house again," said Poppy. "It looks like a doll's house, doesn't it?" In front of them, the lake cut their path as a stream ran inwards from the main lake. It was shallow enough so that you could see the stones and water plants below. An old brick bridge, with one arch to the left several metres away, gave another sketching opportunity for the art student. "We can cross on these stepping stones," said Poppy. "Will you be all right, Cindy?" "Are you being funny? I'm not hopeless, you know." "If you say so, Cindy." There were 13 stones that lay just above the water's surface, which led the way onto the grassy scrub on the other side. The stones were wet and slippery and covered in green slime. The strong breeze that was now blowing made it dangerous to walk across. A nightjar tweeted noisily from somewhere close. This startled Cindy, and Kip watched her as she fought to catch her balance. Then, keeping a careful lookout for a mad bull or some other beast, the gang carried on to the clearing. Here there were several stumps. This spot had once seen towering Scots pine trees, but they had all gone now. Long since victims of the chainsaw, or a madman with an axe and a grudge. Yes, the woodland was full of sadness and memories of glorious days, all now forever lost to time. The Scots pine trees were special because it was under these pines that Hop and Max had made a scarecrow and named him Brian, and Jamie had carved out his effigy of Max here too, before burning it on his bonfire. Jamie didn't mention this event in his distant past as he walked by, for this was a dark period in his life that he preferred to forget. The circle of rocks Max had used to build his fire had also been cleared away. The fire he had roasted the goose he and Hop had hunted and killed, plucked, roasted and eaten all those years ago. Nothing now remained, just memories in the minds of those that had heard the stories, and those memories too will also vanish. And then there would be nothing at all, just nothingness in time. Kip noticed that there was something lying in the long grass. It was a piece of burnt wood. Was it the effigy? Perhaps it was, but due to the passing of time and changes in seasons, it could never be proven. Perhaps Jamie would himself recognize it. It was he that had carved it out in his moment of madness. That was on the day he had fought to rid his mind of Max's spirit, finding out that he had been living in the dead boy's room on campus, sleeping in the dead boy's bed. It had sent him almost crazy. "Why cut such noble trees down? It's shameful," said Poppy, looking at the tree stumps. She was unaware that the bramble bush, teeming with fruits by her side, was where Mike had once tripped and cut his leg, trying to escape the wrath of Catherine and Ivy. It was such a sad place. They all felt it. In the centre, a burnt-out broken tree stood like a corpse, now infested with beetles and pitifully purified. A trunk from one of those once magnificent pines lay on the ground, its bark flaking away, chopped up like a piece of salami in a butcher's window. This clearing had once been one of the most beautiful spots in the park. Now it was a wasteland of rotting wood. "Are you feeling homesick, Kip?" "Not at all, Stella. Skip's in Australia and I never enjoyed spending time with my mother. After Hop's death she became possessive and I hated being around her. I had my own grief to endure." "Me neither," said Stella. "My mother gets on my nerves something rotten." "Mine too," said Jamie. "She never let me go out with my mates after school." Skip was my mum's favourite, him being the eldest. She never said so. Hop was the middle child. He was left pretty much on his own, especially while I was an infant. I think Hop liked to go unnoticed, though. After his death, I was the only child left. You see, Skip had moved out to live with his girlfriend, and that was when things really changed at home. My mother, she wouldn't leave me alone. She tried to control everything I did. "I was like a pet dog," said Stella. "Oh, enough," said Sarah. "Let's not hark on about the past." "Isn't that what we're here for?" Stella asked. "Sarah's right, Stella," said Sebastian. "Let's just enjoy the rest of the walk." The Cascade Bridge could now be seen, and just ahead was a gate. But as the gang reached the gate, the whole ground was waterlogged. One by one their feet sank into the mud as they struggled through the gate. With mud almost up to their knees, they watched as Kip clanked the gate shut. The cornfields were burning behind the boundary fence, later than was usual due to the heavy rains. Several scarecrows, lit up like beacons, crackled and sparked. Smoke clouds filled the air, and Jamie started choking. Kip ran to see if he could help. "I want to tell you something," Jamie whispered, as Kip passed him a bottle of water from his bag. "I'd rather the others don't hear." Jamie waited until the rest of the gang were far enough ahead and out of earshot, before he explained the real reason why he had been a hostel representative for 2 years. "So as my old room on campus used to be Max's room, I thought I should tell you. The others wanted me to keep it a secret from you, but I think you should see the room. Do you want to see the room?" "I have to see the room," Kip said eagerly. "My brother used to sleep there too, on the carpet by Max's bed. You have to let me see the room. We'll have to talk to the student that has the room now, but it should be okay." "Tomorrow?" "Okay, I'll see what I can do, Kip. Around lunchtime?" For Kip, the walk back to campus was a blissful one, for he had come a step closer to finding out the truth behind his brother's friendship with Maximilian Chesterton. He had also found new friends, and one that had broken his silence, preferring to show loyalty towards him rather than with his existing friends. Kip now knew that his decision to come to the university had been the right one, and he was to spend the rest of his evening in his room, looking through his photo album, picking out his favourite pictures of Hop, to mount onto card, then to frame and hang on his wall. End of chapter 6.